All right, guys, it's time for a dressy, sport, casual type watch. I easily can see this being worn in an office type environment on a regular basis, whether you're, I don't know, whatever kind of profession you're in. If it requires you to be in an office or sales or something like that, this right here would be an easy pick for me personally. It's affordable, for what you're getting, and it's spectacular looking and it's super comfortable on wrist. So of course this is the Oris Artelier. It's Artelier. It's a French word. I don't even begin to pretend to know how to speak other languages. I looked the word up and it's French for workshop, so I'm a little confused on why they named that watch this, but maybe you guys can enlighten me. If you just read the tag here, stainless steel case, anti-reflective sapphire crystal, water resist 5 bar, pretty standard stuff for this style of watch. Price tag on this guy is it's called a date 40 because there's other versions of this particular line, but you can see the retail price on this is $1,725 US dollars. Obviously, you're not going to pay that whether you're going to an AD or you're buying it. This particular one was actually purchased at Joma Shop. You're going to find these guys new. Gray market Joma Shop is probably going to be around $1,200-ish, depending on when you look for it. But this one was a really good example purchased from them. So let's talk about case dimensions real quick before I get too carried away, because there is some significant features of this case and certainly the dial and handset. But you're talking a 40 mil watch, just a touch over, but it kind of bellies out a little bit on the side profile. So I'll show that in greater detail. The lug to lug width or length is 46.8, so 46.5-ish. Thickness with the sapphire domed crystal, which is just a slight dome, is 11.5 millimeter. The lug width, you can kind of see it if you're used to looking at a lot of watches. It's one of those ones you're like, well, I can't really tell if it's 20 or 22. Well, guess what? It's 21. I measured it with my calipers across the lug width in here, and it was like 20.9, but I measured the actual end link here on the bracelet, and that measures out at 21 mil. So it is a 21 mil, but it comes actually with this bracelet. This leather strap is an aftermarket one, which I think is a really good fit, but I'll talk about the bracelet as well. So big thanks to James, a viewer of the channel. He lent in this watch with some other ones that I've already shown, but big thanks to James for doing this, because these ones usually don't cross my path a ton, so it is really nice to see them. It is not something I typically would wear, but I can certainly appreciate the design features and the look of it, and I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel and many channels, or if you're just tuning in just for this specific model, this is a really good watch. Like, I could see why you'd be drawn to it if you're investigating it. So it is just a push-pull crown. You can see the dates at 6. I am going to just show you that real quick, that the first position is going to be your dates. Actually, I'm hacked now, but so you can see that nice smooth operation there. I'm just going to bring it around to that 10, push it back in. You can see, let's zoom in and take a look. That crown is really nicely done. It's not quite onion, but it has a little bit of contour roundness to it, but it's coined edged, and then it is signed with Oris. So you can see that case shape, the way those lugs come off the case. You can see there's like a belly here on the case, and then the lug design is really nice. A little bit of brushing on the top. Everything else is pretty much polished. And then that dial. I urge you to go check out Oris website or Joma or wherever you want to look. They have a few different colorways of this watch, and each one of them has a pretty wild dial. They're not all like this, so each different color you look at is going to have a different design pattern on the dial. This one has a lot of dimension to it. Almost looks like folded linen when you look at it at certain angles, like silk almost. Pretty wild looking how it's almost wavy looking, but that's just like an optical illusion depending on what angle you look at it, because it's just the pattern they printed on that dial. And then I think it helps to have that break that circles around just outside the indices, or just inside the indices, and breaks up that 6 o'clock date window. That helps with the illusion of it. And of course you have the blued style hands. I think they're all painted. Those are definitely not thermally blued, But if you look in the right light, you can see the indices also match that. So very, very well done. Clean presentation. You have the double indices up at the 12 to differentiate it. I think this is probably one of the best laid out dials for this style watch that I have been able to get my hands on in a long time. The printing of the Oris Automatic up just below the 12 or the 60 mark on the inner chapter is very cleanly done, even though you have the pattern embossed into the dial. So really clean done. Swiss made, of course, down on the bottom. Pretty clean on this side of the case, and you can definitely tell it's thin. So the movement behind the display case back here is the Oris Caliber 733, better known as the Sellita SW200. Of course, they put their signature red rotor on there. You can see it ticking away happily. There's a couple of blued screws besides the red rotor, so you have a nice visual presentation. It's not basic, but it's not fully dressed out. Of course, that is a 26 jewel, basically a 26 jewel version of like an ETA 2824. I mean, there's some other stuff going on in there too, but it's definitely a really nice movement. You can see that case back is actually held down with individual screws. It is not a screw down case back. It is a screwed, multi-screwed held down case back, if that makes sense. Okay, so this particular leather strap, there's the brand B&R bands. I do not know much about them as far as their quality level. It seems to pair up really nice with this. I did not look those up. It has a nice clasp here. I'm assuming that came with it. But I can give you a wrist shot here real quick if I can get this on. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of butterfly clasp, but when they're done with a strap like this, I actually don't mind them. I think that it makes the strap wear really nice. So it's not a traditional butterfly strap like on a bracelet. So there you can see on my 7.25 inch wrist, it just wears perfect. It's a little loose on me right now. I mean, I'm not going to size it, but because it's James's watch. But so let's talk about the bracelet real quick. I'm not going to swap it on. You guys know what bracelets look like on watches. It'll change the look of the watch, but I think it's just too much metal. I think it looks better on the strap myself. But this is a really nicely done bracelet. The way the links are done, you have good articulation. You can see you can fold it on top of itself, so it's going to be comfortable once you get it on wrist. Super high polished with a little bit of brushing on the 3 links towards the center. You're going to have a nice drape. Of course, you have a very smooth operating butterfly clasp. This is a well-sorted bracelet for sure. And then, of course, even the end links, it has that, it's going to articulate. So the first ones coming off the watch is going to also add to the comfort because they articulate. So, and those are going to fit really good to the case. So if you're a bracelet guy and you absolutely like all the metal, I think you're going to be satisfied with that on the watch. Me personally, if I were going to wear this style watch, I would easily put it on a nice leather such as this or one of the many that you can choose from. But I think having it on a clasp system is kind of a must. I don't know that I would like a buckle with a traditional buckle style. I think I like this style better. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And big thanks to James for lending in yet another really cool watch. I'm going to close you out with a little bit of lume shot. I don't expect a ton, but I do see some lume on that hour and minute hand. So there should be a little bit of glow. And there is. It's not spectacular, but it is there. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video.